Hello everyone, today I want to share with you how I fix the user could not log into the remote desktop server issue. There's a small company there. It has two domain controllers, you see on the screen. The domain controller one is AD1-new and its IP address is 192.168.0.10, and the other domain controller is AD2. The IP address is 192.168.0.20, and there is a security group in the Active Directory named RDS users, and the member is David Smith and Bob Winter and other users in this group. And the remote desktop host name is RDS01, and the IP address is 192.168.0.21. User is already set up the RD remote desktop host, and set up the remote desktop license for the host to allow user to log in to this server remotely and also run the application on the server. So on Monday, when user logs into the RDS server, the remote desktop server, the user gets there. You don't have permission to log into the server, and it was working before, but suddenly stopped working. Then we think the first thing we think is maybe the RDS remote desktop host service stopped working, so we can log into this server locally through the because it's the uh, virtual machine in the vSphere vCenter. We log into the server locally is fine. Then what we did, the first thing we do is to create a local user account on this VDS server, on the RDS server, named RDS test, and set the password. Then we add this RDS test account to the remote. Add this RDS test to the remote desktop users group. So we just created user on this server itself locally. Just go to the users, create a user, like a RDS test. We create this user, and then we add this user to this remote desktop users group, because you see the group is RDS user is already in this group, in this local remote desktop users group. I just add this. So after we add this local user to this group, we try to RDP to this server with the local user, and we can RDP to it, to this server successfully. This is a test successful. Then seems the RDS host is working fine. It's not there's no issues for this host itself. The next one, we try to open command. we try to pin the domain itself, like this domain name. It returns the IP address of AD2. So we just like, for example, we just go to the pin. It returns the domain controller's IP address. So this means pin communication is okay because all these three servers in the same subnet. There's no firewall between them. Then we find out it's something to do because the security group is already added to the remote desktop users, local remote desktop users group, and we can pin the domain fine. Then the next step we just try to do is to add this one, add the RDS 01 from domain to local work group. So what we do is we just go to for example, we go to the control panel, go to system, and then go to advanced. We just change the click change. We change this computer from this domain to local work group, like a work group. After we change to work group and then we click OK, it asks we to restart the server once to change to the work group. We can do this fine. We change the member server, this RDS server 01 from the domain to work group, and restart the server once. And then when we change back, after we log into the server locally with the local administrator, and then we do again change the computer to the domain, we get the error message says the DNS, and restart. Then add the server back to domain. And then we input this domain user and password, like administrator and password. We input the administrator password, and then we get when we click OK, we get the error message says could not communicate with DNS. We get this error message, so we could not add this computer RDS server back to the domain after we restart the server, and we input the domain username and password. So the domain username and password is okay because we have logged in before, but we just could not add it back to the Active Directory. It says could not communicate, could not locate the DNS. And then what the next step is, we just try to, because there are two domain controllers, when we try to pin the domain name, it shows return the domain controller IP address. Then first thing we do is we shut down AD2. We shut down AD2 domain controller, and then we try to add this RDS 01 to the domain, and add the RDS 01 to we add this server to the domain again. After shut down the AD2, we still get the same error message as could not communicate with. We get the same as could not. We get the same error message, and then the next step is we just turn on. We turn the power on for the AD for the domain controller AD2, and then we power off. We power the other domain controller, and then we try to add this again. Add the RDS server. We add this RDS to the domain again, and this time it is successful. So after we power off the AD1-0 domain controller, we add the RDS0201 host to the domain again, and it is successful this time, and we can RDP to RDS. And then we RDP to this RDS01 with the user to the server. It is successful as well. So after we do this thing, we know it's something to do with the AD1. So because there are two domain controllers, so seems when the user tries to RDP to the server, it tries to communicate with the AD1-0 domain controller, and because this domain controller is not healthy, so the user could not get the authentication issue from from this domain controller, and then user get the error message that could not access denied, don't have access to this RDS server. Then after we shut down this AD1 new domain controller, it is working fine. Then we just shut down this domain controller for now, because the user needs to log into this RDS 01 to do their work. The next step is we need to remove. So the solution is to remove because the AD2 is working fine. AD2 has all the user accounts and also security group in it, and it's working fine. And AD1-0 is not working properly because it could not authenticate the user accounts, and the user, if this one is running, user could not log into this RDS01 server. So we just shut down the server for now to allow the user to log into RDS01, and afterwards, after business hours, we can just remove the AD1-0 domain controller from the Active Directory, and then create a new virtual machine and promote it to the domain controller. This is the solution. So it's working fine now. User can log into the RDS after we shut down the AD1-0 domain controller, from this Active Directory. That's all I show you today.